Good morning. We are coming to you from the West Gate. We have a finals match for the Women's Master 8 Ball Teams Finals. We got Tap That versus Shaft Strokers. On Tap That's roster, we got Reagan Hoko, Kathy McDonald, Marilyn McConnell, and Reggie Lane. On Shaft Strokers rosters, we got Terry Curtis, Leandre Graff, Lori, and Sarah Miller. Getting rolling here in the morning. These early morning finals matches can take a little time to get the juices flowing, but we're off. We're battling. Watching these two teams battle through these past couple of days to try and claim this prestigious title of a national champion. Let's take a look at the score sheet here and see how the matchup is going thus far. Here on this table, we have Kathy against Leandre. And over on table one, we have Marilyn against Sarah. So getting my bearings still, getting everything set up, getting posts out so their friends and family can tune in. Did really well to find that tight gap onto the six. Can lead naturally over to this four ball. Well done. Gets that first eight ball down. That always feels good to get that first game, kind of get the sigh of relief, the tension loosening up, so to speak, to get ready for the rest of this battle because we got a long road ahead of us. Taking a look at the bracket, it looks that Tap That is sitting with 0 losses. This is a triple elimination format. However, uh, Shaft Strokers is already received 2 losses. So if Tap That does win this first set, they will be deemed the champions. But Shaft Strokers needs to win 3 straight sets to take it down, but very, very possible. But it will be a long grind to do so. Let's take a look at some of the payout differences. For first place, winner is going to receive $3,000 and some trophies. Return entry in the 2027 ACS Nationals, and a room prize of $900. In second place will also receive some trophies and $1,200. So some pressure on the line, the prestige, and a nice payout. So these gals are working their way through one ball at a time. Tap that's trying to. Hey, Nicole in the chat. Welcome. Thanks for joining in this morning. You probably know some of the players on the Tap That's roster as they play in the NWPA. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Looks like we got Reggie here on the break, getting one down and taking on stripes. I am in the venue and the music just went off, and I'm only about to talk too loud to be distracting. Now Lori's got an open table. Try and get shaft strokers on the board. Stripes do look to be much easier to suit the workaround. It's difficult to see how that 11 and 14 ball lay, but I imagine the 11 goes. Trying a little double duty, trying to get a little photography in from the booth space as well as providing some commentary. I'm multitasking. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, solids is going to be a little bit of work with that 276. Going to be a combination potentially on the 2-6. We're trying to nestle something free. Two six doesn't look very fun to me. That's quite a bit of distance off angle and about 1.5 feet to the pocket. This is everyone's first round up thus far on this table, so early round jitters are still very much a part of the play. Little miscue mishap. However, the ball goes in the intended pocket, so we're moving forward. I don't Doesn't happen terribly often, especially when you're interacting with another ball like that. Gets that combo, plays it very nicely. I personally hate combinations. Try and avoid them at every opportunity, but she gets it down with no sweat. Now, Lane's looking to play the 7 into the side, might use the 15 if it doesn't go directly in. Just like that. Lane's a little bit awkward in the queuing perhaps, but she should be fine. Seeing if the 8 ball can squeeze back underneath of the 15. Calm, cool, collected by Lane. Got there. There's a little bit of cluster safety back and forth action happening over on table 1. So that game is going to have some back and forth, no doubt. Let's take a look and see who we have coming up next onto this table. I think it's going to be Terry coming to break against Marianne, according to the roster. It's been such a blast being out here getting to meet lots of new players this week. This is an event I have not been to before, so met lots of great folks and spending some time with a big crew from Maine. I think they got like 4 teams out here, and 2 of them, or one team is sitting in the hot seat for both of their teams, both 8 and 9 balls. So it's just been a blast out here. Just everybody out battling and negotiating the ups and downs of excitement and frustration that this game can bring, especially in the format of teams. When everything's going your way, it is the best feeling in the world, but when the struggles are happening, it can be quite the challenge. And this game brings struggles to everyone at some point. So there are definitely ups and downs when you have 4 folks playing together, trying to take down some nationals like we are in right now. Nice break. Seeing, looks like the only openers I see are for solids, and solids look to be pretty workable. He's selecting the 6 first. That 3 ball is going to be the positional player that's going to require the most work. Could potentially try and land on it now, but floating back up underneath of it. A little bit overrolled, but got the 1 as a backdoor, so still got some time, got some options. You can play the 1 to the 2, land short side on the 7, and float back in a similar path to land onto the 3. And the 8 ball has also got a little bit of work, so tight positional play to get out of this rack. Yeah, that technical out also laced with a very strong team already making up the spot, so it's now an even race to 9 for the finals. Tension can play such tricks on this game. It's tough enough as it is, and you add a little tension to it, and whew. Yes, for stripes, it's gonna be also a technical battle. It's gonna. He's coming down and taking a look at this 15-12 and trying to see what angle is going to be best to either break those loose. I don't know that the 15 can make it into any sort of a pocket, so you're probably going to require some feathering to change the layout. This angle could work, really, but like it's hard to generate enough energy and separation when you're in close proximity to the ball. And it looks like the energy kind of required to get those separated might be more interacting with the 8, so let's see what she comes with. Oh, this game can be so brutal. Somehow it splits the gap between those two and then comes to rest up underneath of the 2. Not even sure if she has a direct line at these 2 stripes down here or not. She can see the edge of this ball. She might be kind of considering playing the carom into the 7 to make it and then have the cue ball come down here for a safety option. But that's only if she can see that edge of the ball. Over on table 1, Sarah gets shaft strokers on the board. Gets that much needed first game. Sigh of relief of, okay, let's do this. Yeah, this is a tricky spot. And she could see through there, trying to tie some things up, and has done that. Tied two separate balls up with one shot. Pretty creative. Even though it's leaving a look at the one ball or the two into the side. I think that's a two. Dark solids 2 and 4 can be difficult to differentiate when they're not TV sets. You're going to see a little back and forth moving game here, I imagine, barring some spectacular breakout that completely rearranges the furniture off of the two ball. I doubt that is something you want to shoot that pace into the side, but maybe. Choosing to leave the cue ball up table to kind of force the issue of maybe having to break something out. Coming down here to take a look at what angle she might have after making this 15. If she chooses to make it, yeah, 15 has been called. Let out the stroke. Now she might have a swing at getting down to the 7 potentially here in the next shot or two. Fortunately, kind of catches the double kiss and kills the momentum. Just a little discussion of if you choose to play the 7 that referee wanted to take a look at it, and that's not going to be the play because it doesn't look like it's available. Yeah, trying to figure out if she has something along this angle to maybe come back and break this out, but or even get short side. Oh my gosh, what a effort. Any rub of the 7 ball there, and that would have been just a great breakout positional play shot. Played a great line at a good speed and just got a little bit unfortunate to have it not work out more favorably. But she is on the 3. Depending on her comfortability, she could just elevate up and try and stop this ball right here. You might see a little safety play of ref coming in to take a look just because it's finals. We don't want to have any misunderstanding of different perspectives. Get somebody who is trained, unbiased eyes. Good hit. She did try and roll that in. That 12 ball, I thought, blocked the pocketing angle, but this is going to be a good result. Keeping the pressure on. It's going to be a long back cut to the left lower pocket for this 12 ball. Looking to maybe kind of float it in just to kind of have a backdoor containing shot on the 7 with natural position on the 9. Goes full on safe there. Gets it locked up. That's going to be looking at where I'm sitting is about right here. So I'm looking right down the barrel of this shot, and it is got no edge available. Good distance off of the rail. Not a lot of offensive options. Just gonna call it one time in the side, kicking one rail at it, I think. She's still assessing her options. This is a tough spot. Gets the hit. Nicely done. Much better than giving up ball in hand for sure. There's lots of options here for, well, maybe floating up to the top center diamond. That's a stroke out to come across for the 15. I love that selection. I imagine the intended pattern here is 15 to 14, and then to the 9 and having the 8. Kind of connecting all of these dots in the least amount of cue ball movement possible. Oh no. Those soft rolling are so brutal. Opportunity for shaft strokers here to put another one on the board. Pocket the 7 with touch a draw. Lands where the 8 ball is available. A little bit of a tester though, being this high from it. I don't know about how they're feeling, but it's still early morning pool for me until about 1 o'clock, so it takes a while to get the juices fully flowing for a lot of us pool players. Oh no. This is a tough position. I'm just trying to visualize from the side view here how cue ball at pocketing it is going to be kind of threatening this pocket this direction. So yeah, those are super tough. I know we all tell ourselves, I should have made that ball, but lots of distance and pressure. Pressure. Overrun. It's going to leave a bank potentially. I mean, yeah, you can back cut this in, but it's gonna this close to proximity. It's a whole lot more difficult to visualize than the bank for the way I look at things. But everybody plays this game in their own comforts. Some folks see better than us guys with glasses. Yeah, she just said she's not sure exactly what she's doing, just kind of seeing how comfortable the cueing is. In this close proximity, she just wanted to, yeah, gonna play the bank. Yeah, pretty uncomfortable with bridging into the pocket over a ball. Yeah, that was very uncomfortable bridging. All right. Probably gonna play. It's kind of dealer's choice to which one's more available. Probably the 15 coming around 2 rails playing. It's like so. Over on table one, tap that, gets another one on the board. Nice shot, gonna land onto the 8. Gets her down. Tap that is bringing the heat. Shaft Strokers is going to need to find that comfort and get a couple games on the board and start putting the pressure on to give themselves a chance here. Start letting the lead slip away, and that pressure mounts. It gets ever more difficult to get your head into the ball at hand rather than the overall deficit. The mental aspects of being in the finals. So many little interactions and things that it's a constant learning experience. One that's usually learned through lots of pain. If it was easy and everything worked all the time, we'd all be in the finals having a great time. But pressure of the finals brings out all sorts of new learning experiences for different situations. I don't think I've been talking to a pool player here yet that doesn't have a situation like, oh, I should have done this, or I'm thinking about that. All right, let's see. Up next. Okay, we got Kathy McDonald just broke, and Terry is back at the table. Terry's taking on solids here. Has an angle to take the 4 on and run into the 7-12. It's quite the steep cut. Please forgive me if I have a little bit of low energy. It's been a long week and we had finals go until almost 1 o'clock in the morning last night. Waiting for my caffeine to kick in and help me feel more alive. Get in there. Yeah. Nice shot. Cue ball gets away a little bit though and leaving a pretty steep back cut onto the 7 into the side. Kind of imagine the cue ball is going to be traveling something like this and trying to find this tight window onto the 2 ball is going to be very delicate. Things to hold up. Yeah. Is she on the 1 ball though? Reading the body language a little bit. Looks like it might not be quite there. Such a close proximity. Oh, she was on the 1. Nicely done. Most likely going to see a bank to this pocket, potentially running the cue ball into the 15 to hold for the 8 would be ideal. It's a lot going on. It's got to focus up and succeed at one thing here, and that's getting the 2 ball at least as close to the pocket as possible. Keep the pressure because I don't think that 9 plays the other direction, so she looks to be slicing this in. Yeah, it was tough action, very thin hit. Over on table 1, Lane looking to put the 8 ball down to increase this lead. Gets it down, making it 7-1. Now, Kathy is looking to clear these balls. Taking a look at how to get onto that 15. So if you can get onto that 15 in a flat way, the 9 ball is there ready for the taking. Also, I believe it does go by. Might have a ref called for it just because it looks to be a close interaction with the 8. Over on table 1, Lori just broke against Mary Ann. Gets a ball down, has some options. Safety was played, but reading the body language here, looks like there might be a window through, but is there a pocketing angle on the other side of that window? The window looked to be very tight. Thirteen ball looks to be the biggest problem, so she's looking to go ball in hand. Yeah, right about in there. Just enough where you won't have to elevate your cue, preferably land on the 9, 15 in the side, 14 in whichever in the bottom left corner. The map has been set. Holds the cue ball nicely. Just taking a look to get the referee to come and remove the rack. Very wise decision to have that happen, because catch the edge of a rack and two balls can nestle up in an odd way. Really appreciate all the effort these refs are putting in to maintain the integrity of this game and its playability. Staring it down, making sure that it's still in a playable position. That's another risk that sometimes comes from having to remove a rack, is it's very difficult to get balls exactly back in the same position, even if it's with markers. But from where I'm sitting, he did an excellent job. Elevating up the hold the cue ball there as close as possible. Does well. Gets a little thin. Still manageable. Cue ball looking to land somewhere along this line. Hits it near perfectly. This 8 ball to increase the lead yet again. Tap that is definitely bringing the heat. Over on table 1, got Marianne clearing the last 6 balls. Pretty open table. Coming up next here, looks like Leandre breaking against Poco. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Got to answer a question really quickly. I will be right back. Nice couple of openers for stripes. She's going to be looking to play the 14, land comfortably onto the 13. Going to be coming a little steep at this 12 ball. If she plays the 13, it's going to be kind of trying to find a very tight window between the side pocket and that 12 ball. Over on table 1, Marianne is on the 8. Ouch. Now going to be looking for where to leave the cue ball to make it as challenging as possible. Not seeing a super obvious place to do so. Maybe up into this quadrant. Maybe thinning off of that 12, coming something like this, but difficult to gauge, and you don't want to find the pocket in that line. Another option, if she's able to see it thin enough, just come up at this edge, try and stick it up underneath of these 2 balls, keeping it in close proximity where it cuts down the options. Both are very difficult to gauge. was a great effort catching it as thin as possible. That was so hard to feather in there. Got a long opener on the 5. Looking to shoot a roll through and come back out to center table, I imagine. Oh, cue ball just kept rolling. There's 2 patterns to play here. Could play cue ball along this line to play that 12 ball into the corner and then hold the cue ball here to play the 8. Could roll through. Who's playing in the chat? We have Leandre Gapt against Reagan Hoko. If my, according to the roster and my pronunciation being correct. Yes, this is the ACS Nationals in Vegas. This is the finals. Tap That is sitting undefeated, and Shaft Strokers would have to get through this set to extend into a second. Overrolls this position just slightly. Now it gets a little bit awkward because the cue ball is going to be kind of traveling this path and naturally kind of wanting to head behind the 3. So she's placed her Q-tip right here as in an area she wants to float into. Gonna be a very delicate back cut to kind of hold that line and land just right. Yeah, reading the body language, it's just overrolled a bit. Difficult to see how much of that edge of the ball that she has. Could potentially play the carom into here for the 8 ball to go into that pocket, I think is what she is potentially mathing out. Very difficult shot. I feel like that 2 ball is sitting just low where the energy you need to have it travel along that way is not natural, so it would take a great deal of pace to get it to want to try and hold true to that line. I'm not sure if she has enough to play maybe the bank and off of the 6 into the 8. She's down looking very closely to see how much of that 8 ball she has to work with. Might just have to play a safety of thinning off of the 8 here, tying some things up, and having the cue ball in down on the bottom rail. I think the 8 has been called in that top right corner. Yeah, it was such a tough spot to be in. Nahoko here is looking to clean up these last 6 balls. Connecting the dots, maybe 6 to 1. And yeah, I think she's going now 1, 7 in the bottom right, 3 in the side, 5, and then the 8. Over on table 1, Shaft Strokers is on the 8 ball. Lori is looking to place another game on the board with a tough one on the 8 in the side. Looking to make this 5 and oh my goodness. A bubble. Leave the 8 readily available. Shaft Strokers getting another much needed game on the board. But over on table 1, Tap that ends up taking that game down, bringing the score to 10 to 2. Let's see who's coming up next in the roster. We got Kathy McDonald against Lori and Marianne against Leandre. Let's see which ones go into which table. Yeah, today the room atmosphere is one of tension. We got clapping and cheering around. You can hear in the background as teams are battling their way through the B-side trying to get into the finals, or they're playing semifinal matches. So this is the day where all of the pressure comes into a bottleneck of folks trying to earn themselves that nationals title. Get some balls down, getting some clusters around the center table. Got some options for an opener. Can either take the stripes with the 12 or solids with the 7. Just going to start assessing and seeing which suit looks to be the easiest to find a way out of. I think solids could be a more comfortable option. Only really still having that problem with the 1-6 and the 2 ball. Lots of clusters in this rack, so might see a rearranging of the furniture here. And that cue ball is gonna have ill intent. Did get a little nudge out, but nestles itself right up against the 10 ball. Now I think she's taking a look at the kicking line from here. Has called the 4. Now looking to kick into the 2 ball. Gets a good hit. Pretty productive shot. Now all the solids are out in the open, leaving for very technical out for stripes. It is workable. Gonna work some balls into the side pocket, while also keeping in mind this 11-9 is something you want to land comfortably on. Over on table 1. Marianne finds herself awkward on her position on the 8. The full open table. Here, Kathy is trying to map out the pathway to get out of this rack. Might be considering to play the combination on the 11-9, but Got to play that one at somewhat of a slow pace if you want to hold the 11 from rolling over near the 2. Playing slow roll combinations are very difficult to judge. Might just let the 11 loose and play something at a more comfortable pace. Oh, yeah. Lands perfectly on the 13. I believe it goes in the bottom left corner. Figuring also out how she wants to land on that 15. Welcome, Patricia. Way to go tap that, they say. Rooting them on. They are coming in with some spectacular shooting here this morning, really putting on the pressure. But it's never over till it's over. Kathy taking a look at holding the cue ball for the 15. She pointed out here, but this looks pretty flat to get out there. Might require a bit of juice. I think she's got options here. Would prefer to leave the 10 ball for a key ball. So difficulties with the 15 is the cue ball is kind of wanting to run into the 3, which will bump it into the pathway of the position on the 12. The 15 does not cut into the side. I am looking right down the barrel as I am sitting right over into this area. Well played shot there. Plays a very touchy speed control as well as a difficult cut. Have the 3 land out of the pathway of the position on the 12. Acquired a lot of experience to know how to strike that properly. Oh no. Slightly overcut, giving an opportunity for shaft strokers to try and clean out these rats. Leandre wins her game over Marianne over on table 1. Lori now trying to connect these dots. If the cue ball to kind of drift over into this area would be ideal. Perfectly done. Now it's just maintaining nerve and focus. Doing very well. Got a little bit of an angle now where he's looking to come off of the rail and end up really close to where the 6 is now by the direction she was looking. Well done. Might catch the low side of the pocket. Let the cue ball float right back up near the spot. Oh, tried holding that a little bit too much. It's gonna take over the pocket, however. Kathy's got her work cut out for her in the positional play. She's really looking to see if she can squeeze into the rail and have that 14 ball, I believe. No, that's the 10 ball, excuse me. Lands pretty flat on the 12 too, so not a lot of options for working angles. I don't believe this ball goes through here or here, so being stuck up table. For someone to let out a draw shot to draw clear back up to where the cue ball is at now would be a ridiculous stroke. Might just look to play safe. But where is safe? Over here? Tough spot. I mean, she was going to go pure offense. She could also consider crossing this 10 ball here, but that's a big ask. Does it slide by? Slide by it does. What a great shot. I thought the 12 ball was blocking there. That was incredible. I was looking to draw back up table a little bit. Get off of the rail. Oh no. be so brutal. Come with a great one. Try and collect yourself from that excitement. Opportunity here for shaft strokers, though, to start narrowing this deficit down. Angle is kind of awkward where it's kind of tracking right at the 8. So she might kind of stun this a little bit, come off of the rail and back out and across, landing out near the spot. She could play something similar and try and find herself underneath of it to play the 8 in the same pocket. I'm just not sure that she can play this one rail with inside and have it come up short side on the 8, but let's see what she's coming with. Oh, and having to play with the bridge because this is quite the reach on the angle she's having to play it at. She's got a shot at it. Chose to just kind of keep it short to not be right on top of it. Now looking to play the back cut. You gotta be a little bit careful, or at least conscious of the possibility that this cue ball can be traveling towards that upper corner, or lower corner, I should say. Oof. Wow. Great cut. Whew. Got her down, and everybody had a little jump on that one. That one was definitely threatening, but gets it down, gets another one on the board. Start mounting the comeback. Is now starting to get a couple of games going towards shaft strokers to give them a chance to get themselves into this finals match. Let's take a look at who's getting cast up next over here. Looks like Sarah Miller is coming over to play against Hoko. Oh, excuse me. That's the match that is happening over on table 1. This is Terry Curtis coming to break against Lane. Hoko over on table 1 has 2 balls remaining. 6 and the 8. Tried really holding the cue ball over on table 1, and the object ball doesn't quite have the gas to get to the pocket, but it definitely brings the pressure back to our action. Got Terry to break. Nothing gets down. We got lots of clusters, tight proximity. Everything is on the lower section of the table, or from our perspective, the right side of the table. Personally, I think she's considering solids just because it has kind of the best balls to shoot some breakout shots similar to straight pool is how this rack's kind of looking. So might shoot the 2 ball and come into the 13. Kind of maybe get the 6 ball nestled out. Over on table 1.
I didn't care about none of that.
All right. Over on table 1, Sarah gets her game, chipping away at that deficit for shaft strokers. Now this is coming down to a 4-3 race. Shaft strokers needing 4 and tap that needing 3. So the pressure is starting to intensify as we approach the finish line of this first round finals. Being here in the venue, some folks are rolling through and saying goodbye as they are starting to mosey towards airports and head on out. Gonna see a bit of a moving game transpire here because there are lots of problems to negotiate. It's going to be back and forth ticky-tack battle until someone finds something that they can take a swing at and kind of break some stuff loose. Nice shot into the corner. Now she's taking a look at these 3 balls on the rail to see how she can land on them to start working that cluster apart. She might be looking to shoot a stop shot on the 9 so she can take the 13 ball next. Taking a look at the underneath side of that 10 ball and seeing if it can go in directly or off of the 1. So starting to map out her pattern. Interesting that she's taken on the 14 here. Is she kind of playing this at some speed to come across? She is. Gets there where maybe that 10 squeezes by the 1 and she can just kind of float up for the 12 if it squeezes underneath of the 13. That she does. Nice shot. Yeah, she can trickle this in and leave the cue ball on the rail and leave a back cut on the 13 to break the 15 out. Oh, it's there. However, it's going to be a long reach, bridging over top of the 4 and also needing to break out that 15. It's got a lot going on. This is going to be a very, yeah, no call has been made. Now, does she leave a look on the 7 into the side? Because that would be potential for bumping some things loose. I don't think that it's there. Could just thin off of this 1 ball too and let the cue ball kind of track up to the upper rail. She's got eyes only for the 4 ball. Similar idea and concept though, leaving it doubled up, cut down the options and allow stripes to kind of break those balls free by making a good hit. Now, seeing how much of the edge of these balls she has to work with. Let's take an edge to edge here past the 7 to kind of see. Doesn't look like there's any sort of path at that 15 ball, so let's come outside here and see if we can visualize any sort of an edge. She might have just a whisker. It's looking like she's going 2 rails at it though. Gets a good hit, doesn't break too much free. Keeps from giving too much up. That 1 ball is sitting in a precarious situation there near the side. She might be considering to, yeah, that's what she's looking at right now is she can play into the 1 and just have it cover up the look at the 12. I think she would need her cue ball just a little bit higher into this area to kind of play that safety. I think where it's at now, it's this one's the double kiss, so she might just leave containing shot and just kind of roll the 1 in front of the side and all right. No call. little bit of back and forth action going on. That's the angle of this 15-6. I was just wondering if it was dead wired, you could just. I don't even think she can see the edge of the ball, so it doesn't matter. Because if she could make that 15 and just leave the cue ball over here, cut down the options for stripes. Showing some high IQ. Teammates agree, kind of forcing the issue of you can take the shot on at the 15 and break that little cluster out. It's like, yes, the bank is playable, but how do you get your cue ball to a position onto the remaining stripe? Probably doesn't want to mess with it and is going to look at kicking into this ball. Difficult thing about that, though, is the cue ball wants to stay in close proximity to those clusters where either safety or options are abound. No call. Might want to try and come underneath of it so your cue ball travels up table. But yeah, this 1-3, even if you find a way onto the other balls, that's still presenting a lot of challenges. She could play through on the 4, try and get a little low on the 5 to back cut it into the bottom right to kind of start chipping things out, but not ready to take a swing at it yet. So going to get down beneath the balls, nestle some things loose. Oh, this is going to be nasty. Cuts down the directions to shoot to about a 20-degree angle. That has, like, unless you're shooting some sort of a masse shot, I don't know how much edge she has, but I have to kind of get a bend angle here to try and have good contact. Very difficult. She might just take the foul and push the one ball up here and recluster those up. This is a tough spot. I mean, she needs to get. Does she have this angle here? Looks to be so. Wasn't quite as deep underneath of that one as I thought. Nice hit. Just trying to kick yourself alive, so to speak. Keep making good contact, not giving up ball in hand to keep forcing the issue of you're not going to get ball in hand off of this one. As now things have a little bit of separation between them to really lend to ball in hand being able to solve this pattern. Looking to play the 4 in the side, I believe. Not sure what she has. Okay, so no call. Gonna be most likely playing the 3 to the rail, allowing the cue ball to kind of track down, trying to land into this area. Oh, she had a direct line at the 1. That's much simpler. And getting in that target area of safe, which was the ultimate goal. Be kicking one rail at this. Marianne gets her game over on 1, increasing the lead. That's some good sportsmanship right there. That was a very close hit, and there was no argument being had about it, that it looked like it went rail into the ball with no rail after contact. Because ultimately, in that situation, it is up to the player to make the call when a referee is not present. So, in some cases, some people might choose to say that that was a good hit. But respect for the game and sportsmanship is more important. And I love to see it. Now, even with ball in hand, this is a very technical out. She might be trying to either play position on the 5 or the 7 next. I'm not exact. I think the 5 ball would be the most ideal because it has less of options. Pressure is mounting here as Tap That is on the hill. They only need 1 game to secure the championship. Plays a nice shot on the 5 ball. Looking to play the 1 soft and float up for the 6. There's a little discussion of continuous play, but both of these players that are on this table are the next 2 matches up before it changes the round. So we're waiting on this. So if you happen to be watching on 1, that's why there's not a game coming that direction. Fantastic shot. Drags into that. Holds nicely for the 7. These 2 balls to secure your team as the champion. The pressure is mounting, but there's a little bit of an odd angle where it's hard to hold. Look at this stroke. Lets it out. This 8 ball to secure themselves as the champions. Congratulations to Team Tap That, Kathy, Marianne, and Lane. Great tournament by the Shaft Strokers. Guys battled hard. Had a nice run getting deep into the finals. Congratulations to them. Thank you all for tuning in. We got more finals actions coming your way. We'll see you on the next one.